What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you have not subscribed yet, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, let's get into this podversation / reality chat. And, Nene Leakes has been trending in the news recently because we all know that she has filed a lawsuit against NBC Universal, Bravo TV, Andy Cohen, and several others that are named. I've discussed and shared my views on the litigation and the truth behind that. So if you haven't watched that video or listened to that podcast yet, please go ahead and check it out. But right now, I wanted to talk about Nene saying that she's been blacklisted in the industry, and also Kandi Burruss. Because Nene Leakes has claimed a few weeks ago that she believed that she has been blacklisted in the industry because she's spoken the truth about some things. Now, this story actually came from the Jasmine Brand blog and talks about the allegations came after Nene Leakes retweeted a clip of her former castmate Kandi Burruss, 45, being interviewed. In the clip, Kandi and the gang star Kandi Burruss is asked about Nene seemingly shading the new Bravo series. Kandi states, "I don't want this to become a big shade throwing contest between she and I, but I do not understand why she does that." She continues that back when she did have a show, me and her wouldn't even be on the same page, and I would still be telling people to watch her show. I don't understand why this is what she said. I understand why her fans be treating me like I'm stopping her from doing something. What is my show stopping you from doing? Nothing. People always want to know why she gets these TV shows. We pitch our shows. A lot of them don't pitch shows. A lot of them just sit there and think, I'm so great that Bravo should put a show in my lap. Me and my husband, we come up with these ideas and we pitch them. Sometimes the network is for it, sometimes they aren't. And so Nene retweeted the video, and she said, "They always blacklist you when you tell the truth." And she said, it's crazy, that she's being harassed and followed, saying, "Stop harassing me, my business, and my family. Stop having me followed. Stop blacklisting Black women for speaking the truth. Stop paying off attorneys to not file discrimination claims. Stop it." Girl, Nene is delusional. Okay, let me go back. When she said stop paying attorneys to not file discrimination claims. See, this goes back to my previous conversation where I talked about the truth behind this litigation that Nene has filed or had filed on her behalf, where she is the plaintiff. She was lucky enough to find an attorney or a firm who was willing to take on the risk of working with her because they believed that they could break all of these entities down to get some sort of settlement for her, which they will get, depending on what their rates are, no less than 33 1/3% plus any expenses that they have to put out up front if they did not get a retainer from her in the beginning. And they'll just get her a good old settlement so that she can go off into the sunset, keep her mouth shut, and stop talking about these people, because no one had to pay any attorneys to not file discrimination claims. Nene is delusional. In my past years of being a legal assistant, I can tell you, and I worked in the first firm that I ever worked in, it was an employment and labor law firm. So it kind of goes along the lines of what Nene is discussing with this lawsuit. The majority of those who would call in for a consultation and talk about how they were fired, one, the state that I'm in is not a right to work state, so you could get fired for any reason unless there was some sort of contract and the company went against the contract for the reasons of why they terminated you or let you go. So you could come into work with blue hair and they could fire you because they don't like the fact that you have blue hair. They could fire you for any reason except, of course, the federal regulations where you can't discriminate against anyone on the basis of color, their religion, their their gender, their race, religion, all of those different things. You cannot discriminate on based on federal regulations, but in terms of everything else, they can fire you because they don't like the shoes you're wearing to work. They asked you to wear Buster Browns and you decided to wear Louboutins. They could fire you for any other reason besides those federally that it doesn't allow anyone to discriminate against anyone for. So there would be so many people that would think that they had this ironclad case, but more times than not, they would say, I'm sorry, you don't have a case. I'm sorry, you don't have a case. So many people got turned away and got turned down. So for her to say that someone is paying off attorneys to not file discrimination claims, this proves my point from what I spoke about in my previous podversation reality chat about this litigation. Nene really does not have a case, and the majority of the attorneys or firms that she reached out to discuss this matter felt the same way, and that's why they did not take her on as a client, because they didn't see a case there. But everyone is different. Everyone is different. So you may find some needle in a haystack, some diamond in the rough, who would be willing to take you on or take your money, depending on what type of agreement that they had between, you as a client and them as the firm. And we don't know the details of that. They could have possibly had her pay a large retainer. And a lot of times when it's a risky situation like that, they will require some money up front. So it's not your typical car accident, ambulance chaser type of, case where, no fee unless we collect. Because they figure if you were injured in a car accident, even if it's 3 or 4 years later, we definitely would be able to get you something, and we'll just get our money back from that versus charging you any money up front. But with a situation like this, there usually is a large retainer that is requested up front because they're taking on a risk. But they also are not going to just do it for the sake of getting a retainer, because that's money, and time is money. And so they're going to have a road ahead of them to see what type of settlement they feel that they could get for her. Like I'm saying, it's my opinion. This is not a fact that they're going to get her a large settlement, but I believe they feel that they could get her something, and that is why they decided to move forward with their case. But in terms of anyone paying off attorneys to not file discrimination claims, proves my point about her being delusional. Now, she could say that she feels that she was blacklisted in the industry because of her speaking the truth, but the God's honest truth is she didn't return because, one, they didn't want her to come back, and they didn't technically fire her, but they offered her a deal that was not what she wanted, and she felt that she could hold out for more, and she felt that she held all of the cards, and she learned that she didn't. So she was really hurt by the matter that she was not returning. She made that video on her social media account talking about how, she, regretfully is not going to be returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and all of these other things that she shared with her followers. And some people say that, well, this is Nene's house and she built this. Nene did not create the Real Housewives franchise. She auditioned for the city of Atlanta when they were going to be bringing it to Atlanta. And yes, she spoke to Kim Zolciak and Sheree Whitfield, and they did an audition tape together. But Nene auditioned to be on the Real Housewives, and she was chosen. She was trying to get into Hollywood. She was going out to auditions and different things like that, and it didn't shake out for her. This is the first thing that really shook for her in her favor, and she used the situation, rightfully so, to get other opportunities. But when she started getting those other opportunities, she was putting her nose up in the air and thumbing her nose at the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like the seasons after she got on The New Normal and Glee, I don't know if I'm coming back. I'll have to think about it. I'm just tired of all the drama, and I'm tired of Atlanta. Like, she was so negative and just like I've arrived and the spotlight is on me and, you know, I'm very rich bitch and all this other stuff that she was talking about, it was a turn off. Unless you are a diehard worshiper, idoler, you know, of Nene Leakes, most of us saw through the bull crap and are just like, okay, humility will serve you well, sweetheart, but you can either choose to walk in humility yourself or life is going to humble you. And life definitely has given her, you know, several humility cards that have been dealt her way, but she's still choosing to be arrogant and acting as if someone owes her something. But Kandi has really capitalized off of this opportunity. And like one of my favorite vloggers like to say, you know, Armand Wiggins, he's like, I can't stand Kandi. Kandi want all the money. I wouldn't say I can't stand Kandi. I don't have a reason to dislike her. I love her business acumen and all of those different things. Sometimes, you know, it can be like, okay, another business you're opening on the show. Like, I don't, you know, that kind of gets tiresome to watch that on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I don't have a reason to dislike her. But what I do like about her is she is utilizing the opportunity and capitalizing off of it to grow in business. Nene was trying to grow in jobs. She was. And that was one of her problems. Nene did not really have the right team. She said that to Sheree one time, and she really, you know, sometimes you have to be careful because that one finger you're pointing, you got, you know, 3 fingers pointing back at you and a thumb. So you got 4 digits pointing back at you when you point that one at Sheree. And I did agree with her when she was talking about Sheree, but she told Sheree, you're on the wrong team. You're on the wrong team. Nene didn't have the right team. She really didn't have a team. She became the breadwinner. She had Greg as her sort of like umbrella man who would just be there to open the umbrella, open the car door, open the building door, and, you know, and just be there to be with her as a supportive assistant in that way, versus having a real manager to really help her to grow in business. Because I'm sorry, those poncho shirts or whatever, you know, that was when she was going to have a clothing line on the either QVC or HSN, I can't remember which home shopping network or online home, you know, whatever, I can't remember which one, I don't watch any of them, but anyway, it wasn't real business deals that could, I feel, really make her a solid, really crazy amounts of money. And now you've got Kandi doing all of these things where she's got several shows. She's acting, like really, really acting. I feel she's done more in acting than Nene even has. And Nene was bragging about being on being on Broadway, being in The New Normal and Glee and all of these other things, all of these opportunities. She was bragging about it in a way that it was almost like she was putting other people down. And it was a turnoff. The ladies on the show, they tried to be supportive of her, but you could tell that a lot of them were turned off. And that was the season that Claudia Jordan was on there. And I did agree with Claudia. But Claudia, even for the sake of the show, tried to be supportive, you know, in some way, you know, to Nene when she got the opportunity. And, you know, she said, you know, I'm happy for you. But, you know, the way you speak about it is like you're saying that we ain't shit because, you know, we ain't doing what you're doing. And that's just not cool. And Nene really didn't want to hear it. And now Nene's to the point of having to sue the network and all of these other entities to make money, or to get money, I should say, not even make money, versus just trying to create some other opportunities. And the reason why she isn't getting the opportunities is because she blacklisted herself with her negativity and her attitude. Andy Cohen, Bravo TV, the network, anyone attached to it, Truly Original, NBC Universal, none of them had to say anything about Nene Leakes, Lanithia, Monique Leakes to any other network to try to stop her from making money because they could see how she was from her own actions. It's all on camera. What did they have to do? This is not the same as Monique, the comedian who literally was blacklisted, who just got an apology from Lee Daniels, and I don't even believe that was 100% sincere. I believe that's he's making the opportunity for himself, so this is how he's getting back into her good graces. And hey, if she chooses to accept the apology and move on and make money from it, by all means, do your thing, Monique, because you deserve that and much more. Monique is definitely a funny comedian, an actress, and she didn't deserve what she got. Whether people felt like, well, she should have went on the promotional tour, whether she was getting paid or not, you know, she didn't deserve to get blacklisted. And she lashed out in a stand-up comedy, you know, session that she had, and said some things about Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels. But, you know, that's how she was feeling at the time. And if she got the unfortunate blacklisting because of that, it wasn't right. It wasn't cool. But she didn't get blacklisted, you know, because she was proven to be hard to work with. Those things were said about her. So that is a difference. Nene has proven that she is not the easiest one to work with. She's proven that, like, anyone that wants to work with her and has an opportunity, they can go back and watch all of those seasons of The Real Housewives of Atlanta after she started getting the opportunities to be on Glee and The New Normal. Previous to that, she was funny. Yeah, she may have crossed the line a few times, and a few times it may have been cringeworthy and like, oh, Nene, did you say that in, you know, in the public? But yeah, they didn't need to blacklist her. She blacklisted herself. And you know, it doesn't make me feel good to say that. I just don't feel that she's taking personal accountability. So you guys, you can let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section. Kandi has proven to be a hard worker and a hustler. She has pitched. She doesn't come out and name everything that she has pitched that has not gotten the green light. But when she's happy about something that does get the green light, which is what most people do on social media, most people don't come on social media to share their losses. They come on to share their wins. But she is married to someone who used to be a part of The Real Housewives. He no longer is employed with them. And so he kind of knows what to do. If she's got someone in her corner that's helping her to build and to grow, whether some people see him as an opportunist or not, it's working right now. It's not the same. And Nene really cannot compare what Kandi has going on to her. It wasn't that they sold her out to make Kandi great again and to make her grow. It's just what has happened. And it's because Kandi has been proving since she started on the first season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta that the woman is a hard worker and she hustles. Sometimes even, you know, it's been shown on the show, Todd, you know, her husband said, you know, sometimes to the detriment of spending time with your family. So I don't know how she does it, to have 2 little kids, all of these business things going on, and she's still growing and thriving. You know, kudos to her. Nene was not doing that. It was all about opportunities that people are bringing my way. What can I get? Kandi is out there scoring and securing and creating the opportunities. Sometimes you have to create the opportunities. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest.